I'm Sam Beckbessinger. I am the head of Think at Quirk, which means that I spend a lot of my time thinking about the internet and its relationship with people.
So what do you think about the internet?
I think that we don't understand yet how big the changes have been to our lives, to our culture, to our ways of doing business. Obviously, we're still restricted in South Africa. Access is slow to arrive. But even with that, there's been so much innovation in every single field, which is what makes life exciting if you work for a digital agency.
Can digital ever be as emotive as TV or radio?
So it's an interesting question. I think South African creatives have historically always been very strong at mediums like radio, and that we're still learning a lot about interactive, big digital creative ideas. I think that we've got pockets of genius, but not enough general respect for the big idea. I think one of the problems is that digital agencies in South Africa, a lot of them still behave like production shops and are still very focused on particular tactics and producing particular assets. So you've got the web development guys, and you've got the PPC guys, and the SEO guys, and the media guys. What I'm not seeing nearly enough of yet is big, bold, brave, through-the-line thinking, and truly brilliant integrated ideas. And I think that that's going to come at the moment where we stop thinking about ourselves as digital agencies and we start thinking about ourselves as creative agencies, and that goes for traditional agencies as well, starting to use more and more of the opportunities provided by the digital media, the new media, because at the end of the day, we're still trying to do what we've always been trying to do. We're looking for big, bold ideas that excite people and make them feel something about a brand or a product.
What's your favorite marketing tactic?
I think that South Africans in general in this industry spend far too much time thinking about tactics and not nearly enough time thinking about ideas. So that's a very difficult one for me to answer. Some of my favorite campaigns over the last couple of years have happened in very humble mediums like email. There's still very exciting things you can do with email. It's just another channel that can carry really brilliant thinking, and basic mobile as well. So it's a difficult one to say, what is your favorite tactic? I can rather talk about my favorite ideas, but I think that in general, some of the more interesting things happen on the edges, where consumer behavior is merging digital and the real world and all of that stuff. But that said, even the oldest, stodgiest digital media can still carry some really, really great ideas. And I think that that's how we should be thinking, more than starting with a tactic and asking ourselves, what should we be doing on Vine? Because all the cool kids are on Vine these days.
Is there a local banner campaign that really stands out to you?
The wimpy, the interactive, rich media banners where it turned on your webcam and it made your mouth really huge, and it was showing how big the Wimpy Burger is. I think that's one of the very few quite clever banner ads I've seen come out of South Africa. In general, I think we South African creatives really let ourselves down when it comes to banners as a medium. I think we far too often start from a point of clients saying, hey, I've got these print ads, can you use them on the internet? Because I want to put the campaign on the interwebs. And that's the obvious thing. Let's go and take your creative and put it on the internet as banners. And it's a very safe and comfortable medium, I think, for a lot of clients and for a lot of less creative creatives. So I think in general there are few banner campaigns in South Africa that I've looked at and thought, wow, that isn't invasive, that isn't a waste of my space and my time. That's a cool campaign.
How do banners fit into the marketing mix?
Banners are far too often thrown at a problem just because they happen to be there. If you have a hammer, every problem tends to look like a nail. I think we often, when we use banners as part of a more integrated campaign, we talk about banners as being the awareness part of it, and I think that's kind of a strange notion, and it's a notion that's borrowed from the days of mass media, where really what you're talking about when you're talking about awareness is you're saying we want as many impressions as humanly possible. We just want people to see this thing. and somehow magically that will translate into something good happening at some stage, which is fine, but I think is quite a blunt instrument, particularly when we're talking about something like the internet, which offers incredibly nuanced and highly targeted opportunities. So I think the most interesting uses of banners I've seen are ones that are highly targeted, often use niche sites to reach niche communities, have very clever contextual targeting, tactical campaigns, and they find a role within a more integrated campaign that is more specific than just we want lots of people to see this thing. And I think that we need to think more and more about what banners can really do for us. They still can do some things for us, but just we want to get lots of impressions. It's not a very smart way to do advertising.
This interview was brought to you by the OfferForge Advertising Network. See what we can do for you. For more interviews and information, go to www.offerforge.com.